What's poppin', YouTube family? What's poppin', YouTube family? How you doing? How you feeling? Welcome back to the video over here on the channel. I am super hype. You know what I'm saying? I'm super hype. I'm super anxious. I'm super ready for this video. I don't know if it's because I am in a crazy state of mind because my puppy is driving me insane. Listen, if you have a puppy, forever salute to you. If you raise your dog from a puppy to like this is my first time having a freaking puppy, right? I have not been more aggravated in my entire life. But he's teaching me patience. He's teaching me patience. He is a puppy, so you know what I'm saying? I gotta, you know, I don't know what I gotta do. I'm losing it. But nah, man, he's super dope, super cool. He always wanna be right up under me. I don't know if because we the same color. He black and I'm black. I don't know what it is, but he always wants to be up under me. I love it. If you hear him barking throughout this video at all, just act like it's just us. Okay, just ignore it. I've been trying to ignore it for the past 2 days. Bora City Magazine. Y'all know how much I love her little documentaries, if you will. Little documentaries. Hold on, chill out, calm down. This is a good one. And I say that because I think this would give me a little bit more clarification on like if it is a strategy on like their solo promotions. I'm sure it is. I don't think them nor the label does anything just randomly. I'm sure it is a strategy. However, I was thinking that it might be a little favoritism too. This video is perfect. I'm here to de-stress my mind and just, you know what I'm saying, kick it and just watch amazing content with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, with all that being said, let's get straight into this. Actually, before we get into this video, I do want to let you guys know what has been going on over on Patreon. Wow. Oh my God, I love them together, bro. I'm finna get fucking emotional. Listen, I don't care where the next concert is when they return in 2025. I don't care where it is, my nigga. If it's in freaking Barbados, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking a fucking canoe. Oh, I love you. Listen, why don't you do this shit like when it's just me and you in here? I ain't gonna lie, this nigga looks suspicious. He just looks suspicious as hell. I could have pointed him out if I lived on a freaking on a 54th floor. He looked like a freaking villain. What'd he say? Yeah, so I'm about to say you're not gonna smile at all? God damn! I'm done! I am done! Okay. Oh my God, I forgot about this part! Okay, all right.
하나, 둘, 셋.
First things first. That was very strange. If I had to rate this album from top to bottom, from track 1 to track 14, I would give this album. Listen to me. Get over there. So I be sounding like the Joker sometimes. Get over there. You know what I'm saying? Like when I tell y'all, like if your doctor has been saying that you've been super dehydrated, if you haven't been eating properly, Patreon can fix that. Disclaimer, it can't. However, it'll take your mind off of, you know what I'm saying? Life is extremely hard. Okay? I think Patreon, the community that we're building over there, everything about it, the content, like, bro, it's amazing. It's amazing. Just try it out. Let me know what you think. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But we are building a strong community, and I think we I think we've surpassed 2,000 patrons. So shout out to you guys. Listen, the community we're building over there, I couldn't be more proud of it. So with all that being said, click the first link in the description down below or the bar that ran above my little box just now. It'll take you straight to a magical, mythical place with beautiful people. Okay? With all that being said, let's get straight into the video. The BTS solo promotions, favoritism or proper strategy? All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going insane.
Now that all of the BTS members have debuted as solo artists, let's analyze why their projects are also different. It's not only about the different genres and sounds, it's also about the differences in the style of promotions, target audiences, and results. Because this is the reality. A BTS member had a global tour, but another member had one concert at a festival. Another member only had one small venue concert, and another member didn't have any concerts.
That's true, bro. And I thought I was tripping. I didn't want to, I didn't want to say anything, but I just feel as if Jimin's like face album, like that era, I feel like it ended like this. You know what I'm saying? Like it was such a beautiful and dope album, but I feel like it just flew by. Like it wasn't really. Like, don't get me wrong, it was promotions, he was doing concerts and all this stuff like that, but well, not concerts, but he was performing the songs off of the album. But it went back it went by too fast. Too fast. And I think it's kind of the same thing with Indigo as well. But hey, I guess we'll get into all of that.
BTS member had 3 physical albums, but another member only had 2. Another member only had 1. Another member only had 1 CD with no photo cards, stickers, and other things the other albums got. But another member didn't get a physical album that charts could count when he first debuted. A BTS member had promotions in the US, the UK, and South Korea, but another member only promoted in the US and Korea. Another member promoted in Korea and Japan, and another member barely did any promotions. A BTS member debuted a number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and his song was the number 1 song worldwide for weeks on a row. But another member only debuted a number 1 on the Hot 100. Another member almost entered the top 50, but another only entered the top 100. When you phrase things like this, conflict awaits. Fans complain about unequal support by the label, unequal support by fans, and of course, unequal results. But I think these comparisons are unfair and at this point, malicious. Because if you really think about the intention of each project, you can see the different visions the BTS members had for their solo music careers. If you really want to measure promotion efforts and success, let's talk about how each promotion schedule helped gain the attention of their specific target audiences. And let's also realize that some promotions are actually counterproductive for some members but beneficial for others. You may think I'm crazy, but sometimes a number 1 on the US can hurt an album's chances to be consumed by certain audiences. Of course, other times it can help the project, but it all comes down to the artist's vision and target audience. So I'll try to explain why I don't think any BTS member, song, or album has been sabotaged by Big Hit, Hype, ARMY, and much less BTS. After analyzing every single piece of promotion,
I could have done without that part of the promotion. I'm just saying, without that part of the choreography. I'm just saying.
I actually think that every promotion decision has been smart and effective. The member who started the BTS solo era was Jungkook.
And bro, don't get me wrong. All of them are super courageous and super like trendsetters, like dope in their own in their own person, right? I respect J-Hope so much because he was one of the first to do a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like for him to go on stage after the hiatus was announced, and it was one of the first times that they had to take the stage independently. Do you know how fucking scary that must have been, bro? Do you know how scary that must have been? But J-Hope laced up his freaking boots and went to work and showed the fuck out for Army, bro. Showed the fuck out for Army, bro.
Like the other members part of the rap line, J-Hope released his first solo project as a mixtape. This is not his official solo debut. Hope World and the other solo mixtapes did not have official promotions, but they were shared on social media by Big Hit. These type of projects were side projects shared for armies as a gift or as extra free music. This is
bonus,
important
just
to
a bonus
highlight,
almost.
so we can understand why some BTS members do certain promotions and not others. Confused armies and J-Hope solo stands can say that J-Hope's Jack in the Box debut album was sabotaged by Big Hit and Hype because it was released with no physical versions and no performances in Western TV shows or K-pop shows.
Is that not preference to the artist though? Like, I would think that J-Hope would have say so in how he wants to present his album. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's I don't know about sabotage from the label. I think that when you're a small artist, you kind of really don't have a say so. I mean, even if you're a big artist as well, but mostly when it comes to small artists and you're not really making a lot of hits and you don't really have a big fan base, the label doesn't, I guess, really trust that you kind of know how to navigate your way throughout the music industry. So they kind of make decisions for you. But as big as BTS is and has as many hits, as many hits as they have, bro, I'm pretty sure that they have a say so in a lot more than we think. I don't think it's any sabotage by the label. That's just me, though.
These three things are expected in a regular BTS promotion schedule, but this is J-Hope's solo career. So look at what he did do and conclude what new audience he wanted to attract.
One of my most favorite documentaries from that BTS is. Well, I've only seen like 3 documentaries, but J-Hope in the Box was a beautiful documentary.
For what I can see, J-Hope wants his debut album Jack in the Box to be a long-lasting record listened to not only by armies but also by global fans of hip-hop. People who are actually interested in hip-hop as a genre.
Oh, J-Hope! He got ambitions to go worldwide.
And
Why is Nigel talking like his manager? J-Ho, he got ambitions to go worldwide. Y'all missing out. What is he talking like? He's trying to Nigel talking like he's trying to talk to a label to sign J-Ho.
Box to be a long-lasting record.
I love it. I love it.
By armies, but also by global fans of hip-hop. People who are actually interested in hip-hop as a genre.
Oh, J-Hope! He got ambitions to go worldwide.
And J-Hope is not necessarily going to attract this specific audience by performing on K-pop TV shows or American TV shows like Jimmy Fallon and Good Morning America, watched by an older American demographic. Actually, if he did, he will probably lose the specific audience
he's trying to target and attract. Yes, because the average hip-hop head, let's be real, isn't watching late night shows. Let's just be real. And if your audience is not caring about them late night shows, why even? That's not your audience. You know what I'm saying? I totally understand that.
Trying to attract. For what I can see, he's not interested in the general public listening to the Billboard Hot 100 songs. He prefers promoting to an audience interested in hip-hop no matter the language. This is a tricky audience to target, but I think every decision he made was perfect. To start, J-Hope was the first and only BTS member to launch his album with a listening party.
Yes, that was the J-Hope in the Box.
If you pay attention to the artists he invited, you can see that these are mostly indie hip-hop artists. Most of them are not mainstream, but they are respected in the South Korean hip-hop and alternative music scenes. This listening party sets the tone for the rest of his solo promotions. J-Hope's debut solo performance was as a headliner in Lollapalooza 2022 in Chicago. His concert had an audience of over 100,000 people, including armies, the general public, and of course, curious hip-hop fans.
Like I said, bro, I will forever respect this man, bro. The performance he put on, it was fantastic. And being like one of the first performances that they had independently, super. And I love Jimin, and you know how Jimin came and they supported each other, and then when Jimin was doing the like crazy run, like J Hope was support. Like I love their bond, bro. But J Hope, I will forever have the utmost respect for this man.
This strategy was extremely
For all of
successful
them.
because after the event, there were a lot of hip-hop fans listening to the music of a BTS member for the first time, whether in person or online.
It
This
was
event also gave J-Hope the opportunity to
strategized,
meet
strategic.
and then record a song with the artist who inspired his name, J. Cole. This collaboration and his concert
That
at
was
Lollapalooza
legendary.
gave him an attractive image to this specific audience, the type of audience who prefers simple individual or one-on-one conversations with no audience and a minimalistic or improvised or one-on-one
Y'all know I love J Hope, right? Y'all know I love J Hope. You know what he looked like right here, bro? Y'all remember Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Listen. J Hope is my guy, and y'all know how much I love that man, bro. But bro, you gotta get. He's such a rock star, though, bro. He's such a rock star. I would not be able to pull this off, but he looks so fire in it, though.
conversations with no audience and a minimalistic or improvised backstage set. These are the only type of interviews he did, and it was intentional, in my opinion. The only exception was his interview at the Seasons, but this is also very strategic because this is not a K-pop show watched by K-pop fans. Unlike K-pop shows, the Seasons has long interviews with no rehearsed answers by idols doing aegyo and an ending fairy and performing a choreography with playback. For this same reason, the interviewees, the performances, and the audience watching the show are different. Thanks to this, J-Hope has the freedom to do a more personal performance he wouldn't be able to do on a K-pop TV show. The last thing to note about J-Hope's solo debut is the pace of promotions. He didn't do every interview and performance the first 2 weeks of the album release. This could put his Billboard and Korean charts positions in risk, but that's okay because that was not his goal. He actually performed in Lollapalooza 2 weeks after his album release, and he continued with promotions with months in between each promo. Almost 5 months after the release of the album, he performed at the 2022 Mama, which let him do a unique stage with no choreography.
J-Hope is so badass, bro.
Then, 6 months
Times
after
Square
his
New
debut,
Year's Eve,
J-Hope
right.
performed at Times Square New Year's Eve.
Oh my God, that was New Year's, bro. That seemed like it was like 4 months ago. Wow, time is
7
flying.
months after his debut, he releases and
J-Hope
promotes
in the
his
Box.
J-Hope in the
Beautiful
Box documentary
documentary.
on Disney Plus and has an interview on a popular YouTube channel. 9 months after the release of his album, he performs and has an interview on The Seasons. As you can see, the promotions are focusing on longevity more than on day one success. So J-Hope's records
Yes. Bro, I think I've told you guys this before. Most of the time, I'm not going to say most of the time. Well, the big artist can drop a hit tomorrow and it'll hit the charts and it'll blow up by the end of the night or that next day. Most of the time, though, I'm not even going to say the big artist because even sometimes the big artists, they, like, you have to give art time. Sometimes you are ahead of your time. So that song that a specific artist put out that's not hitting at that point in time does not mean it's garbage. Does not mean it'll never hit. It might mean you just have to give it time. That song, what's the song by the Boot Up? I think it's called Boot Up. Boot Up. I just can't tell it. Boot up. Boot up. Hey, you know they had it. Boot up. You know what I'm saying? That song was released, I think, like 2 years before it blew up. Art takes time. Sometimes you're just ahead of your time. And in this case, it makes perfect sense. Like, we're not worried about the first week sales, the first month sales. We want this shit to live on forever. J-Hope wants the records to live on forever. He's not worried about what we sell in the first week. That doesn't matter. Art lives on forever, especially if you create it for longevity, not just for numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Like that. Here comes the biggest complaint. When J-Hope released Jack in a Box, the physical album did not come with a physical CD. They came with most small things you would get in a regular BTS physical album and a QR code to listen to the songs on the Weverse Albums app. This code replaced the CD, and for that, it did not count on Western charts like Billboard. Since this was the first time BTS did
so the
this,
streams are
and
kind of
Weverse
spread
Albums
out.
app is a new app by Hype. People accused Hype of affecting J-Hope's debut numbers, of purposefully sabotaging him just to promote their streaming app. But again, look at J-Hope's overall promotions. Every interview or performance was far apart. This doesn't mean that the promotions are bad. Actually, these type of promotions are very common with Western artists because they are less exhausting for both the artist and the audience, and it can improve longevity. It's true that he released his debut album almost exclusively on digital platforms, but 6 months later, he released a well-produced vinyl record, and now, more than a year after the debut week, he released physical albums that count toward the Billboard charts. These are the type of promotions you have when you want your album to be discovered and remembered by fans time and time again over the years, not just the first 2 weeks. This helps with longevity and helps his desired audience, hip-hop listeners, have multiple chances of discovering his music. The unique performances and simple interviews that will be discovered will not disappoint this audience because these are the type of performances and interviews they already enjoy. So the results successfully match the promotions.
Jin. Okay, listen. To sum up J-Hope, right? Super strategic. And I think that it was broken down in a way that my little brain can understand. You know what I'm saying? But it makes perfect sense. You want to be in the ear, and you want to be in the ear and in the face of your target audience. You know what I'm saying? For example, right? If you're 50 Cent, right? If you're 50 Cent, you're not about to try to cater to Katy Perry's fans. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna go to the trenches. For example, when certain artists tour, right? You have to kind of go to the places that listen to that kind of music. Now, if you're a big enough artist, you can tour wherever the freak you want. BTS is a perfect example of that. They can go to the trenches of where Yoongi from, Detroit, and travel across the world to Australia. An army will sell both shows out and sing their lyrics word for word. It doesn't apply to BTS, really. You know what I'm saying? But I get how independent artists, J-Hope wants to target the hip-hop scene. So you kind of have to come at it differently than I think the rest of the members. You get what I'm saying? It makes sense. Also, with the longevity part, like I said, he wasn't focused on the first week sales, the first month sales, hell, even the first year sales. He's just he wants his music to live on forever. You know what I'm saying? He wants his music to be listened to by hip hop fans forever. So the first week sales and how the album was presented when it first dropped, you can't really judge it when it comes to the other members because it's a different strategy. And I think that's how it's going to be for each member. But I really want to hear what happened with Jimin's face. I feel like it went so fast, but let's get into Jin. The Astronaut, such a beautiful
solo
song.
debut single, The Astronaut, which he released as a See You Later song before going to the military.
I remember exactly where I was at. I remember the time. I remember when we were streaming the concert with Coldplay. I remember everything. This was such a sad, bittersweet, beautiful moment.
The biggest complaint I've seen about Jin's debut is from solo stans saying that this is not a proper debut because most members had
an
album
album,
debuts,
but
Jin
Jin had a
only
single.
had a single. The assumption is not that Jin decided to release a single, but that HYBE and even BTS are at fault because Jin said that he wanted to go to the military earlier during the summer, right after the end of the Proof promotions in June. Therefore, according to some people, Jin was forced by the other BTS members and their label to wait until October for their unexpected Busan concert. So he had no choice other than to go to the military on the winter and quickly release
that
the
makes
astronaut
sense.
after being busy with everything. This gave him only days to promote his song. So there were no interviews in America and no music shows in Korea. He only performed as a guest artist in Coldplay's concert in Argentina. However, you don't need to be a genius to realize that the astronaut was not made for the general public's consumption. Like Jin said multiple times, he wanted to make one song for armies before going to the military. He talked to Chris Martin from Coldplay about the kind of message he wanted to transmit, and Chris Martin produced the song specifically for Jin. This was
Can we give it up for Chris Martin too? He is a freaking genius. A freaking genius. I feel like Chris Martin, like, he made the song. Right? Well, they worked together on the song, right? He quote unquote made the song. But Jin made the song. If you get what I'm saying. Chris, he made the song. Jin made the song.
Was not meant to be an official debut with a non-army audience in mind. This doesn't mean that it was
Well, they
an
worked
abandoned
together on it,
project.
basically.
The Astronaut is Jin's official debut single and had 2 physical album versions, a music video, a lyric video, a live stadium performance, official merchandise, and even a show of 4 episodes with a vlog style.
I gotta watch that.
He also had 5 interviews, 1 by himself, 1 with Suga, and 3 in relaxed, non-serious settings, 2 for YouTube channels and 1 for TV. All of these interviews and shows helped him relax and comfortably talk in his native language about his life and future. So once again, this BTS solo project was successfully recognized by its desired audience. In this case, ARMY. We would have to wait for Jin's solo debut album after his military service to know what kind of music style and new audience he wants to pursue.
Just think about it. He probably cooking in the service too, boy. He probably cooking in the service, bro. Ooh, right after training, he probably, the album that we finna receive, that shit finna be so cold. If the astronaut hit like this, I've shown the astronaut to like my close friends and even people that don't even care about BTS, right? The people that are like Patrick from SpongeBob, live under a fucking rock. They don't care about BTS at all. The astronaut catches everyone's attention. They love it. Jin made the song. You know what I'm saying? I cannot wait for this album. Oh my God. Imagine that boy finna be cooking. That boy is cooking. He's cooking. That's where I'm at.
The next BTS member.
No, hold on, Bora. No, hey, I'm on my grind. Yeah, to body, don't my time. That's my song right there.
To officially debut was RM with his album Indigo. What I've seen people saying is that ARMYs did not support RM's debut like we supported the other solo debuts. But once again, pay attention to the type of audience who is actually listening and RM is promoting to. As part of Indigo's promotions, RM accepted only 4 interviews, all of them in the format of a long conversation. These were for the Sex Sense show, hosted by an American interviewer he trusts, the P6 show, hosted by comedians who interview mostly hip-hop artists and who Namjoon is a fan of, Sutrita, hosted by his BTS bandmate Suga, and KBS News. A pretty serious...
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Namjoon is on a different wavelength, like when it comes to... his audience. Like I feel like it's more mature. Like for him to choose Erykah Badu, even though I still you know what I'm saying, I still got beef with her because she ain't show up to the Soul concert when he performed. But for him to choose like Erykah, like that's like an older type audience. She sounded really good, and I think if you love music, no matter how old you are, it would have caught your ear. But Erykah Badu is just she's a more older, seasoned artist. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like his vibe, his target audience, is more of like a mature and like serious aspect.
Korean news show.
This nigga went on the news. This nigga went on the news to promote his album. Like, that's a different type of nigga. Like, if you go on the imagine like a nigga on the news promoting their album. Like, yeah, somebody just got shot down the street, but listen, in this next clip, Namjoon, this nigga went on the news to promote his freaking album.
Namjoon chose these 4 shows wisely.
Different.
And he made sure audience knew why he really wanted to do these interviews only.
This is the only YouTube promotion for my whole album.
Crazy.
I've watched every show. When it comes to interview, what popped up in my mind first was you. I told the label that if I have to interview with somebody, it's gotta be Zach #1.
Brother, thank you. Your kindness and your trust means the world to me.
So why these shows? If you watch these interviews, you can quickly realize he had his album and the album's production process as the main topics of conversation. Most interviewers don't ask RM meaningful questions, and if they do ask important questions about the music, they don't care or they don't understand the answer.
Right,
Most interviews,
I've noticed that either they have really dope questions, but when BTS answers the questions, it's not followed up by any like thoughtful response by the interviewer. Like the interviewer asks a great question. BTS will answer the question, but the interviewer won't follow up with a dope like response. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or the questions are bland and terrible. And just general for BTS and not them as individual artists. I've noticed that for sure.
have superficial conversation.
I'm not gonna say no names.
Do you guys like to dance at your shows? Do you do a lot of dancing?
This nigga.
추는 거 좋아하시죠?
Yeah, of course.
You guys are all together, but you didn't bring your
I hate these interviews.
girlfriends.
I hate these
When
interviews.
someone knows and recognizes you, do you have to run away?
I hate these interviews. When somebody knows and recognizes you, do you have to run away? Like, he obviously came to work high as hell. You can't tell me, but this nigga is not high. When somebody notices you, do you have to run? After you poop, do you gotta wipe your ass?
Do you ever get tired of each other? Do you guys ever just...
So Namjoon chose people he knew would understand and care about his
And better engaging and educated conversation.
process of creating music.
Yes.
That was his priority. Indigo is not the general public's favorite type of album, and Namjoon
That's my
knew
shit.
that. So if there's a new type of audience he would attract after his official solo debut, it's the type of audience who likes indie, underground music. The type of audience who enjoys discovering unknown artists and who appreciates less mainstream genres like neo-soul, boom bap, urban, city pop, and folk. This is why the only performance he did for American media was for NPR's Tiny Desk concert series. The setting is more personal than most mainstream shows, and a lot of enthusiastic music fans want to discover non-mainstream artists as well as watch popular artists relax in this type of
Was that my preacher? What the
non-mainstream
No, that's not him. Is that Wanda from the choir? What the no,
artists as well as watch popular artists relax in this type of unplugged acoustic setting. So a confident yet vulnerable performer and great lyricist like RM shines the most in this type of settings. This is why instead of having a worldwide tour, he chose to give one
To a more
concert to an
it's a more
audience
intimate
of only
feel.
200
It's a more
people.
intimate
This
feel.
concert has some of the artists who featured in his album. The list of featured artists is also something not everyone can fully appreciate.
Man, listen. I didn't know who like I didn't have the knowledge to like know the impact that she has and everyone else on his album had in like K-pop and just music world in general. I think there were like 2 or 3 artists that were kind of underground, you know what I'm saying? I guess you would say underground. But how he put this shit together, and what they were all able to come together and like contribute, and like it was beautiful. Y'all, unpopular opinion, some of y'all, I ain't talking about you. I know you know what I'm saying, you respect it, but I'm just saying, some of y'all are really sleeping on Indigo. Really sleeping on Indigo. Indigo is Mono is one of my favorite albums from it's kind of a mixtape album, album or axe tape, how you say that? Indigo is probably, it might be one of my favorite independent artist works of. Indigo is a beautiful album. That's all I want to say. And I think some armies, if not a lot of armies, are sleeping on Indigo. Like, of course, when it came out, the promotion was there from most armies, but like now to like today, I think y'all sleeping on Indigo. Indigo is different.
Most of the songs part of Indigo have featured artists RM deeply admires. For his Neo Soul song, the featured artist is the queen of Neo Soul, Erykah Badu.
She pisses me off though. Like, how can you not show up to the concert but you're on the song? Don't talk to me, Erica.
For his funk song, the featured
Anderson
artist
Paak,
is Anderson Paak, known
Still
for his
alive.
funky style. RM also included artists he admires but aren't as worldwide famous, such as Kim Saul and Colt. This album also has a lot of references to painters and their art pieces such as Jung and Still Life. RM's debut album Indigo is for the music fans who care about meaning and art. This is why he chose to have only one physical version of his album instead of the normal two. This, alongside the fact that the physical versions took weeks to be delivered, affected his album's sales numbers. But caring too much about that is crazy and shows that you're not paying attention to all the meaning
actual
of this project.
art.
RM purposefully left all the flashy photo cards, stickers, and photo shoots aside. Instead, he made his physical album some type of art piece.
More mature.
The pages are full of poems, graphic artwork, and photographs taken by RM. He also released a vinyl record months after the
that is gorgeous. I gotta get that.
the album
gorgeous.
debut, which, just like the physical album, includes RM's artwork pieces. His third and last performance was at Dia Beacon, a museum in New York with no audience. So of course most people won't get it, but the ones who can perceive and appreciate RM's passion in this album are the correct people listening and becoming fans.
Yes.
And by all the records RM was able to achieve with such an experimental album, I can say that his minimalistic yet meaningful promotions have been detected by the right people, armies and music fans who care about stuff like this. Once again, this BTS solo project was successfully recognized by its desired audience.
Yes. Okay, yes. I cannot wait to get into Jimin. However, I think this just goes back to it's not about the numbers at the end of the day. It is to a certain extent if you want to, I guess, pull in more ears and more, you know what I'm saying, listeners, and grow your fan base. But J. Cole has a saying, and I might have told you guys this before. I may have not told you guys, but he said it was in an interview a couple of years back. Just put out good stuff, put out good music, and let your fans sniff you out. So if you put out amazing work, beautiful work, like I said, the first week, it may not hit. The first month, the first year, it may not hit. But eventually, if it's good work, and if it's really like art, and if it's really beautiful, it's gonna hit. And I think with Namjoon's album, just like she said, like, it hit who it was meant to hit. And I think that goes for all of them. It's going to hit for who it's meant for. I think a lot of, when it comes to armies, we range from ages. It's a wide range of ages. You can't expect a 11, 12, 13-year-old to appreciate and love the same thing a 50-year-old would appreciate and love. A 50-year-old may love Jimin's album, RM's simplistic, mature, you know what I'm saying, approach. 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old may not understand it, but will support just because that's what we do as Army. We support the guys that we love the most. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like since we range in ages, the support is it's bound to be different. You know? It's kind of bound to be different. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes.
The next BTS member to officially debut was Jimin with his album Face. Face is a pop album, and its promotions were a little closer to a regular BTS promotion schedule. Jimin released teasers for the pre-release single Set Me Free.
I remember where I was at. I remember the smell of the room when we were live streaming this. This song, when I'm in the gym, or even when I'm just feeling good, like but especially when I'm in the gym, like I swear I can, if I'm dog tired on a treadmill, if I put this song on, I can run about 10 more miles. I'm lying, I would die. But I can run about maybe like for 10 more minutes. You know, if I'm lifting, I can, bro, if my muscles are about to pop out of my body, if I put this song on, I might even lift the machine that the weights are on. You know what I'm saying? Like, this song is just different.
Part 2 and the main single Like Crazy, which he released alongside
Like Crazy
the
is
full
fire.
album. This schedule is similar to J-Hope's schedule, which also included teasers and a pre-release single before the main single. On the other hand, RM released teasers and music videos for a main single and a follow-up single, as well as a surprise music video for a B-side, which became an OST.
Yeah.
It's important to note these differences, because although some promotions like Jimin and J-Hope's are similar in some aspects, that doesn't mean that they are targeting the same audiences. Like I said, J-Hope's album was targeted at a global hip-hop audience, but Jimin's album was targeted at a global pop audience. And for that, promotions in a show like
They
Jimmy
just look
Fallon's
different. They
work
look
better.
different. The
So
promotions
Jimin
look
was
different.
a main guest at the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, where he had an interview and performed his main single.
Shout out Jimmy,
We also
man.
need to highlight that Jimin's interview was mostly in English, so he had to practice most of his answers since he doesn't dominate the language.
Right,
But this
right.
decision of taking the challenge of speaking
It's
English
big.
made sense since Jimin's main single being promoted in America was the English version of Like Crazy.
So crazy, because when you really pay attention to the strategies, they are way more complex than like you would think, bro. Like, if you really pay attention to the strategies, like, of course, when songs come out, Army, we're gonna support regardless. Hopefully. I don't know how you be, you know what I'm saying? But I'm playing. But if you really just dive deeper, like, he wanted to go on Jimmy Fallon and speak in English. It all comes down to the audience you're trying to target. And I think that goes with anything. So it's going to look different from the other members because the target audience is different. I just want to know why it just felt like it ended so fast.
Since Jimin's main single being promoted in America was the English version of Like Crazy, not the original Korean version. This is also why he performed the English version at the Jimmy Fallon show. Other BTS member will later also attend the Jimmy Fallon show, but his choices will be the complete opposite of Jimin's because his target audience is different. The only other promotion Jimin did for America was a day in the life style of interview for
Yes, I
both.
saw that.
Then he
I saw
started the
that.
Korean TV promotions. Like I mentioned, K-pop shows have more superficial interviews and flashy performances, but Jimin's pop songs and difficult choreographies shine the most in this type of settings.
He's so fire, bro.
J-Hope's Jack in the Box performances don't have choreographies, so they work best in a hip-hop show than in a K-pop show. To still demonstrate a more vulnerable and casual side, Jimin had a lengthy interview at SBS Radio as well as an interview and performance of a jazz version of Like Crazy in the show Limousine Service. These interviews were not as complicated as RM's interviews, but they were still introspective and personal enough to explain the meaning of his pop album Face in an accessible way to global audiences. As expected, Jimin also went to Suga's show Sutrita. Like Jin and RM, Jimin made a video for a popular YouTube channel, and like Jin, Jimin released 2 physical versions of his album. Finally, Jimin was the first member to release remixes of his main single and to have video calls with fans. However, many complained that all of these promotions ended too fast because only 2 weeks after, Suga started promoting his debut album. While I do agree that Face felt like a very short
as hell!
era, I don't really see what else he could have done. Actually, Jimin did more promotions than any other member up until this point. It just all went really fast because Suga had a tour plan, so he had no choice other than releasing his album then.
So was it just, I'm not gonna say not good planning from the label, but was it just like, I guess it wasn't the best planning from the label, because bro, bro, that shit, even though yes he probably did more press runs, but it just felt like, yeah, I felt like it was just over, and then right after was D-Day. Yes.
Suga also couldn't have his tour later because his military enlistment date was approaching fast. So it was literally then or never. Still though, Suga's album and type of promotions are very different to Jimin's album and promotions. And if there's any new audiences listening to them for the first time, they won't be the same audiences. I also think it's even crazier to put Jimin and Suga against each other and compare their promotions when this opportunity...
Boy, listen, I ain't doing that. You ain't gotta come at me like that. I'm not doing it. I just made it. Damn. Why don't take everything I'm saying like, you know? Chill. I ain't saying that. I'm not putting them against each other, bro.
And Suga against each other and compare their promotions when this opportunity gave us a lot of really cool promotion crossovers. I still understand, however, that the Face era was a little frustrating because since it had some promotions in America, it had success in America, and the American media did not like that. I have a whole video about this problem, but in a few words, Jimin's quote-unquote mistake was not paying for radio and playlisting in streaming platforms.
I was about to say, if America not making no money off of, if you're gonna be in America's network and not make their money, they gonna do everything to sabotage you. You know what I'm saying? That's why we gotta move to our island. I'm not gonna keep dealing with this shit. I'm not gonna keep dealing with this shit. Like our national anthem gonna be Magic Shop. You know what I'm saying? Or we are Bulletproof Part 2. You know, or 0 o'clock. Like we gonna have, or Permission to Dance. Shit. You know, we gonna have a different national anthem. I can't keep dealing with us, bro. America is...
which is illegal and BTS would never. So the sabotage by American media was hard. But again, this has nothing to do with ARMY's efforts, HYBE's efforts, and much less Jimin's efforts.
Right.
Jimin's schedule was precise, effective, and more than enough. Other complaints appeared when Jungkook had his solo debut, because it looked like he was also promoting for a global pop audience, but he had a wider variety of global promotions. However, I actually believe Jimin and Jungkook's target
You let this happen? Still don't want to talk, huh? All right. Okay.
pop audiences were completely different. I'll talk about Jungkook's debut later, but Jimin's pop style and his new audience that likes songs like Crazy may crossover with the audiences that like these current popular songs by Dua Lipa and Troye Sivan. I know the sound of these songs are not that similar, but I'm just trying to paint a picture. These type of pop songs have a stronger feminine and glamorous element, and they have this disco, house, synth style that it's kind of trendy these days.
See, Bora make you think. Bora City make you stink.
To put it in BTS terms, both Boy With Love featuring Halsey and Butter featuring Megan Thee Stallion are pop songs, but the general public that likes Boy With Love featuring Halsey is not always the same general public that likes Butter featuring Megan Thee Stallion. Jimin's solo debut is a little closer to Boy With Love, while Jungkook's solo debut is a little closer to Butter, so their promotions are going to be different. Because Jimin's pop style is friendlier to the general public than the other solo debuts up until this point, like Crazy, 73 Part 2, and the album Face broke multiple records in mainstream charts and platforms like Billboard, Spotify, and Korean charts. The achievements of other members like J-Hope and RM are different because the promotions were different, because the target audiences were different. So once again, this BTS solo project was successfully recognized by its desired audience.
I guess I see what she's saying, but at the same time, bro, that era went by fast as hell, bro. Like Jimin's face, I think should have got a little more time, and that's just my opinion, you know. But I guess I can kind of understand, you know what I'm saying? Like Yoongi needed to go on tour when he did because he obviously had to carry out his service, which he's in right now. But I don't know. Maybe I just think it wasn't the best planning. Like, I don't know. That's just me, though.
The next BTS member to officially debut was Suga under his alternative alias August D with his album D-Day. Suga's promotions were very unique, and it took me days to figure out the promotion strategy and if there was even one. Because although D-Day is a hip-hop album, the style of promotions were closer to promotions being done by experienced South Korean artists targeting a non-K-pop Korean demographic. To start, Suga created and became the host of his own show, Sutrita, in which he interviews other South Korean artists while having some drinks.
When I tell you he was gone, when I tell you at the end of this interview, I think these guys are from TXT, if I'm not mistaken. He was gone. Like, he was on another plane. I bet you he didn't even know he was talking to at the end of this interview. He was drunk as fuck.
The editing style is dynamic and the conversations are very casual. So the show feels like a combination of the high production of a talk show with the casualness of a podcast. These shows where the artist is the interviewer are actually very common among South Korean artists who have been in the industry for a while. This is what I mean by the typical Korean promotion by experienced artists. This is an actual promotion strategy. Weavers Magazine has an article about it. So you may think that Suga is going to adhere to this style of promotions. Well, yes, but not exactly. Suga seemed comfortable continuing this Korean style of promotions, but he's going to direct it at a global audience. So even if his promotions don't always necessarily align with a global audience.
I've been getting too much money for this right here. There's no way in hell Yoongi should have been see-through like this. There's no way in hell. This is the only lights out of all of the money that these things have made the company. You telling me this is the best they can do with lighting? Come on.
Promotions don't always necessarily align with a global hip-hop audience or an indie audience or a pop audience. It will still bring the attention from different types of global audiences while at the same time giving itself a constant cleanup. So I think Suga's promotion strategy was, if you're open-minded and you like me and my music, good for you. And if you don't, I don't care. I'm serious. You just need to look at everything he's done. First, Suga released his pre-release single, People Part 2, which is a collaboration with IU, a beloved singer in South Korea who also has her own show. As part of the People Part 2 promotions, Suga hosted his own radio show and was a guest star at IU's show a couple of days after the song release. Both the song and music video are very calm, and I can sense the Korean concept of Han, which is common in South Korean music and BTS songs like Spring Day. The music video even has an ending scene in which Suga explains the sentiment of the song. So although it's hard for this song to be globally successful with the general public because it's not flashy, it doesn't have a choreography, and the explanation scene makes the video too long for mainstream audiences, its message, style, and feature artists work with with an older Korean demographic who doesn't necessarily listen to K-pop.
Yes, I definitely felt like with Yoongi's album, with August D's album, and I feel like he's always just been on this wave where it's just like, I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna make what I like. And don't get me wrong, all of them do this, but I feel like Yoongi is more in tune with that F you attitude. Like, I'm gonna do what I like. I'm gonna do what sound good to me. I'm going to have a different range of songs on my album. I'm gonna just do what I feel like it. And if you want to hear it and listen to it and cherish it like me, you're welcome to, and I love you. But if you don't hear it because it's not dressed up and fancy, and if it's not for you, then just move on to the next song, to the next artist. You don't have to be here. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how people come on this channel, right? People come to my channel and tell me, Nigel, you paused the video too much.
While the promotion for people part 2.
So tell me, if you I don't listen, I don't care. I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm going to talk about what I'm thinking. I love talking to you. You know what I'm saying? And when people come on here and say, you pause the video too much, then leave. This same video is on YouTube for you to watch yourself. What the like that's kind of like insanity. You're complaining and getting mad at me for pausing the video that you can watch alone. Why the fuck are you here? I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, like, the people that say that, like, come on now. You know I love you though. That wasn't meant for you. That was meant for, you know what I'm saying, the people in the back that didn't hear me.
Demographic who doesn't
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
message, style, and feature artists work with an older Korean demographic who doesn't necessarily listen to K-pop. While the promotion for People Part 2 is friendlier to this Korean audience, the main single Hegam is friendlier to a global audience. The high-budget music video with
And they're two different freaking songs, like on two different sides of the scale, bro. They're two different songs.
strong storyline immediately got the attention of global hip-hop, K-pop, and even pop audiences. Hegam is a hip-hop song with aggressive and fast-paced raps, which is what most people expect from an Augustine music video.
Right.
So now Suga has the attention of a South Korean audience and a global audience. But the third single, Amygdala, will focus on his biggest audience, ARMY.
I was about to say, I think you got to be ARMY to really listen to Amygdala and like soak it all in and like really appreciate Amygdala. Like, Amygdala is a powerful song, and yes, I think this song in specific is for us, bro. Like, of course, if you're not ARMY, you can listen to it. I mean, of course. I mean, music is free to fucking listen to, you know, I guess, but if you ARMY, this hit different.
This song and music video are extremely personal to Suga, and they explain a traumatic event for him. The song's lyrics and theme are painful and explicit, so the music video has an age restriction,
which kind of messes with the streams a little
While
bit as well.
it doesn't feel right for many ARMYs to use this single as part of a promotion schedule with a strategy and a target audience in mind, I think this trilogy of videos can once again get the attention from people who are actually interested in the story Suga is trying to tell. To truly get his music, you need to care enough to go out of your way to find his story, motives, and style of storytelling. This is why, just like J-Hope, Suga decided to also have his own documentary on Disney+. He's basically giving every audience the opportunity to understand him and his music.
Yes, it's almost like say you guys are walking down a path, right? You and Yoongi. And he's like, hey, come this way. I'm going to show you my old house that I used to live in. I'm going to introduce you to my old family, friends, all of that stuff, right? He's like, hey, come over here when you get a chance so you can really understand like why I am the way I am, right? Like if you're Army and if you really want to understand, you'll go down that path. Like you have to go but if you're not, did that make sense? Like and if you're not Army and you just want to listen to the songs and the stories that he tells on that path, you won't really travel down the path that made him who he like. Does that make fucking sense, or am I just going insane because of my puppy? Y'all let me know. I hope that made sense.
But if they don't, he won't go out of his way
to convince anybody. Yes, he's not gonna pull your hand and be like, "Nigga, come down this path, nigga. You better come down." No, when you have time, when you get a chance, come down this street. I'll show you where I grew up. I'll show you my school. I'll show you the food I ate. I'll show you the malls I used to go to. I'll show you what I used to do for fun. I'll show you the street that I got into my accident on. But I'm not finna force you and pull you and yank you to come down this street with me. When you have time, stop by. That's how I feel that Yoongi kind of is in like his vibe. Does that make sense?
Anybody. Just look at his promo activities. The documentary titled Suga Road to D-Day follows Suga on a trip around the world in the search of inspiration for his debut album, and it includes exclusive performances with a live band.
Yes.
Soon after, Suga started his sold-out tour around the US and Asia. Like the rest of his album promotions, this tour felt very raw, personal, and real. He replaced the neat choreographies with performances with a guitar and a piano. So although Suga being a guest at the Tonight Show and even playing a game with Jimmy Fallon may seem like attempts to go mainstream, Suga decided to continue his casual style of promotions and refused to speak English or dance a choreography for mainstream audiences.
He's so unapologetically Yoongi, bro.
He still put himself out there and accepted many interviews for different radios in America. But by choosing to speak his native Korean and have a translator on his international interviews, Suga prioritized the meaning of his album and his true personality. So only the ones who are not bothered by reading subtitles will be the right new audience listening to his music. This BTS solo project was successfully recognized by its desired audience.
I have nothing to say about Yoongi. Yoongi is so unapologetically him, and I love him for that. JK. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. My damn alarm went off to take out my puppy, and hopefully when I go down here, he didn't poop all over the damn cage. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. I'll be right back. Only time, listen, this is the only time. It's the only time that he gonna be on camera, okay? Say what's up. You was just barking. You gonna do this for real? Okay. I haven't really figured out a name for him yet. I just got him like, what was it, like maybe 2 days ago? I think he's tired. I'm finna put him to sleep. I ain't gonna lie. It's taking me a little bit of time to like pick up poop. Like, how do you do that and still be able to sleep at night? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, having a turd, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously not in your hand, in a bag. I don't know if I can do it. I mean, I do it, but somebody's gonna have to step in, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, Jungkook, JK. I feel like Jungkook is I think he's one of the only members that I can kind of see like the strategy to like wake the rest of the world up when it comes to his ability to like bro, this like he is just like all of it, bro. Jungkook is an icon. And I think he's just trying to wake the rest of the pop scene up, bro. And I think he's doing a great job doing that.
The next BTS member to officially debut was Jungkook with his single 7. Now, up until this point, all of the sounds and styles of the solo works have been pretty predictable. J-Hope has already released hip-hop music. Jin has already released pop-rock music. RM has already released this experimental style
Such
music.
a fire
Jimin has already
mixtape.
released pop music. And Suga's album is the third part of a project going on for years. But Jungkook's 7 came as a surprise to some armies because it's not something many would expect from BTS. To start, 7 is a pop song of the UK garage genre.
Listen, I can already tell. Listen, you can't go off of Wikipedia, Boris. Like, this look like board. You know what I'm saying? This look like Wikipedia. And the last time I was on Wikipedia and I tried to cite something from Wikipedia, I almost got kicked out of my English class. This was like 4 years ago, you know. I almost got kicked out of my English class at community college. So this looked like Wikipedia. Bora, stay away from this shit, okay? I'm telling you from experience. I almost got kicked out of a community college. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I was doing a little bit of plagiarism. So I mean, let's just get back into the video.
To start, 7 is a pop song of the UK garage genre, and it has two main versions.
Pop song of the UK garage genre? I've never heard of
A
that.
clean version about wanting to spend every moment of every day with one's lover, and an explicit version which
Yo, little freaky ass should not be listening to the explicit version, okay? Yo, little freaky ass should not be listening to the explicit
expresses
version,
homosexual
okay?
desire. Combine this with
Just play it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I prefer the explicit version over the regular. It's just when Jungkook just get in that mood, get in that vibe, bro. It's just different.
Jungkook's commercials as a new ambassador for Calvin Klein and
Yes.
7's promotional campaign, and you can see a clear new image
Yes.
of Jungkook as an artist.
Yes.
Both versions of the song feature the American rapper
You know what it kind of reminds me of? Like when Disney stars like kind of transition from like that kitty like image to like the rebel, the like how Miley Cyrus was. But less drugs. Miley Cyrus cool now, she good. I'm just saying like that's kind of what Jungkook reminded, like the transition like from Disney to like but less like less drugs. You know what I'm saying?
image.
Miley, I love you though. Hey, that used to be young that you just came out with, fire. I know I used to be crazy. I know I used to be fun. You say I used to be wild. I say I used to be young. That shit right there is a banger. I love you, Miley. I'm just saying, just less drugs.
Of Jungkook as an artist. Both versions of the song feature the American rapper
Lotto.
Lotto, and the music video features the South Korean actress Han Soo-hee as Jungkook's girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
The promotions were focused on 3 countries: the US, the UK, and South Korea. In the US, Jungkook had an interview and performed 7 on the day of its release in New York as part of Good Morning America's summer concert series. He then had interviews with Spotify and radio shows like Odyssey Music, The Elvis Duran Show, Sirius XM, C100 New York.
He's trying to wake the people up. JK, do your thing, bro. We are 100% behind you, man.
And iHeartRadio. In the UK, Jungkook had an interview and performed on BBC's The One Show and on BBC Radio 1's Live Lounge. In
I
South
totally forgot that BBC was UK.
Korea, Jungkook only performed in the K-pop music show in Kigayo. But that one performance was enough to make Jungkook the most awarded K-pop soloist this year across different K-pop shows. As well, Jungkook released 3 EPs of remixes: the weekday version, the weekend version, and the Alesso remix. The physical CDs were produced by Hype America, and they did not have the regular style of a BTS single album like Jin's The Astronaut, for example. Instead, this CD was a simple CD, more common in the US. This is nothing new. BTS has already released simple CDs, vinyls, and cassettes like this for their US singles. This style of promotions in the US helped Jungkook become the second BTS member to get a #1 song on the Hot 100 as a solo artist. In a few words, Jungkook's promotion schedule included a lot of the activities artists do to make their song go mainstream. However, because the song is explicit, it caters a Western mainstream audience and it doesn't have a profound message like the other BTS solo projects. Some people think it's too westernized and that it doesn't feel like a BTS song.
It feel like JK. The fuck? You finna get on my nigga like that? The fuck? It feel like JK. He wanted to make that, so that's what the fuck he made. It feel like JK.
While I do agree that 7 is mainly targeted at Western audiences and the general public, why is this surprising or even disappointing to some fans? I think this is happening because sometimes ARMYs don't truly accept BTS as their pop culture image. They see them through their wholesome, family-friendly, philosophical image only. And this can sound very nice, but I think this is the reason why 7 can come as a shock to them. And to be honest, I'm a little tired of this because it's like some ARMYs want BTS
to remain like I get it, you know, like they're come up like how they were like for a long period of time was that family friendly type vibe and prolific message and, you know what I'm saying, uplifting. But at the same time, they're grown ass men, bro. Like, don't let the message or the image fool you. Like, they're grown ass men. You get what I'm saying? I just feel like we got to be more, like some of us have to be more accepting and actually notice that.
To be the artists they want them to be, not the multidimensional artists BTS truly are and want to be recognized as. Because it's always the same story. BTS shows...
It's the way that you can ride. It's the way that you can ride. Did that throw me off? Of course it did. Of course it did. Of course. You wrap around me and you give me mine, and that's why night after night I'll be mine. Did that throw me completely off? Of course. Did I get mad? Disappointed? How could you? No. Of course not. They're grown men and they're artists. They're artists.
Versatility, people say this is not what I expected from them. BTS released DNA, it sounds too Western. BTS released Boy With Love, it sounds too Western and it lacks meaning. BTS released Dynamite, it sounds too Western, it lacks meaning and it's in English, so the K-pop fantasy is broken. BTS released Butter, it sounds too Western, it lacks meaning, it's in English, and they only care about Western success. BTS released Permission to Dance, it sounds too Western, it lacks meaning, it's in English, they only care about Western success, and it was not written by the BTS members.
You'll never, ever, no matter how hard you try, you will never, ever, and this is why I love Yoongi's approach to this, you will never please everyone. If you rock with me, you rock with me. If you love my music, you love my music. If not, move on. Move on.
And now,
we'll never please everybody.
Jungkook releases 7,
but it
sounds
too Western,
it lacks meaning, it's in English, they only
just enjoy the freaking music. You know what I'm saying? If it gets to a point where you don't enjoy the music anymore and you think it's to this, to that, come back and listen later or just leave altogether. Like I feel like people make life too complicated. Like, why have an opinion on something you don't like? Let me rephrase that. Why continue to watch something you don't like? Why continue to listen to something you don't like? Just doesn't make sense. I'm not going to say I absolutely freaking hate. I hate, let's say, for example, I hate Run BTS. Oh my God. I cannot stand that show. Right? But I'm going to tune in just so I can voice how I don't like the show. I'm going to tune in. And I'm going to watch the episodes just so I can show you and tell you how much I don't like the show. Does that not sound insane? That's insanity. That's insanity to me, bro.
care about
If you don't like something, bro, keep it moving and move on. Period.
Western
Period.
success, it was not written by a BTS member and it's too explicit. But like I said a million times already, BTS makes music that attracts completely different audiences. And this is not new at all. Some people say that Jimin's song was also mainstream pop, but at least 2 BTS members were songwriters and it has meaningful lyrics. But it looks like these fans are ignoring the past years of BTS's career. Wasted on Me, Dynamite, Savage Love, Butter, Permission to Dance, and Bad Decisions were targeted at the Western general public, while still releasing the regular hip-hop, pop, and
strategic.
R&B songs. BTS promoted one song with the purpose of being the mainstream song that can actually get recognized in Western media like Billboard and the Grammys. Once again, they do this all the time.
I think, bro, and I think too, you have to think when you want your music to be bigger, like, it's super easy. If they never came out with these Western songs, right? It's super easy for them to have worked so hard and came so far, but only in K-pop. They're only respected in K-pop. They're only big in K-pop, right? With them coming out with those Western hits, those big hits that people all around the world can listen to, and especially in the States can listen to. When you do something like that, you expand your empire. And you don't just become big in a specific genre. You become globally huge. Globally huge. Okay? And I don't think people understand that. I know you do, but I'm just saying I don't think people understand. Like, at the end of the day, you want people all over the world to enjoy your music and hear your message. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just be big in a specific genre, right? Look at The Rock. Look at Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. The nigga, I mean, he could have been, I'm trying to stop saying that word. He could have been just big in wrestling, right? And that could have been it. He wanted to go to movies. He actually dabbled in music a little bit. Now he's one of the biggest Hollywood actors in the world. Making yourself, especially when it comes to BTS, bro, I think their message is so important I think their message is so important to be heard all over the world. Like, I truly think that these guys have made the world a better place. And when it comes to them, I don't care how you feel. If you think that them going Western is like they switched up, they changed, they only care about Western success, you're only looking at it from a small-minded, minuscule point of view. Their message makes the world a better place, and for them to get their message all over the world is for them to go global and hit different areas of the world so their message can be spread worldwide. And I think their songs, they make this world a better place. So I think some armies, some people, like I said, I'm not talking about you. I know you get it, but I'm just saying some armies, like we just have to understand that, like, it's bigger than just what they changed up. They're going super Western. No. They want to be global. That's a different type of empire and legacy you're leaving than just sticking and being big in one genre. Come on, let's wake up. Let's wake up.
While continuing their meaningful Korean discography, BTS has released an English project for Western audiences and a Japanese project for Japanese audiences. So I don't know why this is suddenly a surprise. And Jungkook's global promotion worked. 7 has been the #1 song worldwide for weeks, and I won't be surprised if it's nominated for American award shows. And this makes a lot of sense. Think about BTS's old competition, mainstream hip-hop based duets with explicit lyrics. While it's easy to judge these songs for being too explicit or meaningless, the truth is that this is what the general public.
And listen, I don't want to hear any of you armies out there or people, the general public out there, talking about how 7 is super explicit and super crazy, and how could he? If you out here listening to I'm out of town, thugging with my rounds, my pink, my booty hole brown. Like, if you listening to that, but you saying what Jungkook is saying is off the wall. Insanity. Insanity. You know what I'm saying? It go insanity. Insanity. And if you don't know that song that I just sang, congratulations. I'm so happy that you're going to church every Sunday. Alright, let me stop.
Songs for being too explicit or meaningless, the truth is that this is what the general public listens to, and a song doesn't have to be clean or have multiple layers of meaning to be a good song.
No, this song is crazy. That song is crazy.
An interviewer had the same criticism for one of the songs competing with Dynamite back in 2020, but BTS disagreed with the interviewer and defended the song.
WAP에게
Cardi B, WAP, WAP. Just leave that shit alone, bro. That song is so nasty, bro.
그냥 댄스 챌린지로 유명한 거지.
That song is only doing well because of the dance challenge.
별거 아니에요. 노래는
So just because a song is explicit doesn't mean that it's bad or dirty.
True. That's true. That's true. That's true.
당신을 엿먹이는 것과 당신을 사랑하는 것은 같은 것이 아닙니다. 서양 아티스트로서 더티 버전을 만든 이유는 무엇입니까? 그게 왜 더티 버전이야? 그게 왜 더티 버전인데? 이유를 설명을 해봐. 이유를 설명을 해봐. 익스플리시트 버전인데 그냥 솔직한 거잖아. 뭐 그렇게 느껴졌다면은 뭐 어쩔 수 없지만 어떻게 보면 나이가 몇이냐 내가.
저도 이제 나이가 27인데 나이 먹으니까 이렇게 노출이 있는 촬영을 또 하게 되네요. 그런 걸 싫어하는.
You know what's crazy? It's a lot of kids that are saying that, like, which I get it, you know what I'm saying? They're kids, but it's just like, bro, like, Jungkook could literally be your father. Not in no freaky way, you little freaky. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like, he literally be your dad. Right? Yes. Literally be your dad. And not only that, it's like, to all of the older folks, like, we all do this. Like, let's just keep it, or let's just be real. We all do this. We all get a little, you know, like, come on. Come on.
7 is actually the perfect song for today's pop.
I think it is too. I think it is too.
Artist, and Jungkook's pop
7 is
voice
such a dope
makes
song.
the song fresh, modern, and the perfect adaptation of the typical modern mainstream song. Despite some people's beliefs, I see the care of a regular BTS project in this song too. It's well produced, polished, and not a typical lazy song done exclusively to fool people into streaming it. Whether Jungkook decides to make a full album in English targeted at a Western audience,
Golden, can't wait for it. Golden,
it's like butter, a self-produced Korean album by Map of the Soul 7, or a mix of both like Jimin's Face, I'll support because they are experimenting with their solo careers and finding their personal sound and target audience. So once again, this solo project was successfully recognized by its desired audience. The last BTS member to debut as a solo artist is V with his album Layover. These promotions have started not long ago, but we can already see what kind of audience Taeyong is promoting to. However, complaints by solo stans were out before the album was out. They claim that the label is purposefully not doing any promotions and that Taeyong is doing everything himself by sharing his projects on social media. This idea that HYBE is constantly trying to sabotage the artist that brings them the most money is...
That's what, bro, I'm not gonna lie, that's what I was thinking. Why in the world, if I'm the label, and let's say you're the artist, and you're bringing in this much revenue and this much streams and all of that stuff, like you're making this company. Do you think I am going to sabotage and silence when you want to drop an album or songs? You are the reason that I'm eating. Like, I'm not going to say the only reason, but you're the main reason I'm eating. Do you think that I am going to stop putting food on my table, in my family's table, and sabotage your music, nigga. That just doesn't make sense.
It's pretty silly, but it's funny how it's always the solo fans who complain about favoritism. Just like every BTS solo project, we need to understand and accept that their music is different. Layover is very different to all of the BTS solo projects, so the promotions are going to be very different as well. Just like most of V's music as part of BTS, Layover is R&B with elements of soul and pop. Therefore, the performances and interviews will fit the promotions for an R&B project. So don't focus on every mainstream promotion Taeyeon didn't do. Focus on how he is choosing alternative mediums for promotions. To start, Taeyeon released 5 different music videos, one for each song of the album. This is already huge. The maximum number of music videos a BTS member has released for one album is 3, a pre-release, a main release, and a follow-up. But Taeyeon has 2 pre-releases,
Taeyeon been dropping,
and 2 follow-ups. This is a new strategy that I wanted BTS to try for a while. Think about these popular albums. Their promotions included music videos for multiple of the album's songs. This prolongs the artist's promotion schedule, and it helps each song of the album
keeps it in the face of the audience.
Just one song or 2.
Yes,
so
it keeps
if we
it in the face of the
concentrate on
audience.
this R&B project's promotion strategy, let's think about every door Taeyeon opened for himself by releasing these many music videos. His debut performance was not at a Western show or a K-pop show or a festival. It was on a new Korean music show that slows down chart competition by announcing an artist of the month, not a song of the week, which usually exhausts the artist and the fandoms. This show is also more personal than a festival or a Western TV show. So for this kind of calm album, this debut stage feels right. On K-pop shows, artists normally perform 1 or 2 songs, 3 being the maximum number of performances. But this specific K-pop show let Taeyeon perform 4 of his songs at once. Why am I mentioning this? Because the only reason Taeyeon was able to perform his entire album on K-pop TV shows was because he released music videos for the entire album. For Inkigayo, he performed the main single Slow Dancing and Rainy Days. For Mnet, he performed Slow Dancing and Love Me Again. For Music Band, he performed Slow Dancing and For Us. And for N-Pop, he performed Slow Dancing, Love Me Again, Rainy Days, and Blue. It's genius. Taeyeon was able to promote his entire R&B album on K-pop TV shows. This is the first time an artist has done this successfully.
And bring his dog with him the entire way. Shit is insane.
It doesn't end here. Taeyeon did not only choose this new K-pop TV show with less than 60,000 subscribers as an alternative medium. He also was one of the first artists to perform on the new series Tiny Desk Korea. This is a new show part of NPR's Tiny Desk concert series, which features only South Korean artists. But Taeyeon's performance was released on both Tiny Desk Korea and NPR's Tiny Desk concert. So he is, in a way, promoting his Korean R&B album to a global audience. Finally, Taeyeon became the first member to promote in Japan. This is also very smart, because if there's any country with a big market who would listen to an R&B Korean album, is Japan, the second biggest music market in the world.
Wow, I did not know that. Japan is the second biggest music market audience in the world. Wow, I did not know that.
These interviews and performances helped Taeyeon
he looks so fire, bro.
Show his warm and soulful personality to an audience that is more likely to consume this kind of project. His personality is also reflected on the style of photo shoots and the 3 physical albums he wanted to release. These music videos, teasers, interviews, and media articles are planned, organized, and shared not only by V, but also by HYBE and BTS on all of their social media platforms. If you expect Taeyeon to have the numbers of pop releases or the type of promotions of the hip-hop releases, you are crazy, because he never intended to promote to those audiences. For an R&B album, Layover is huge, and this BTS solo project is successfully being recognized by its desired audience. Let's not forget that although BTS are on their era of solo music, they are still releasing music as a group. After the solo promotions started with J-Hope, BTS promoted their song Run BTS. They released The Planet, an OST song for an animated film, and they released Take Two as part of their 10th anniversary celebration. Just like every other solo project and group project, these songs have different sounds, so they have different audiences, so they have different promotions. Run BTS is a song that is friendly to K-pop audiences. It's fast-paced, it has a choreography, and it shows a ton of energy. So they released a dance practice, performed it at their Busan concert, and released a lot of TikTok videos with K-pop artists.
They have so many like just super fire eras that you just had to have been there to really like I'm so jealous that I wasn't there for every single era, bro. Cause even now when I go back and I try to, I guess, relive some of those eras and like, you know what I'm saying? I guess you could say relive some of those eras. It doesn't hit the same because that time has passed. You can always go back and, you know what I'm saying, reminisce or in my situation, like learn. But it's just not going to be the same. Like it just had to be something that you were just in at that moment in time. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't really know how dope of an era it was until it's passed already.
The Planet is a song for an animated series about a young idol group with superpowers. So the genre is pop and the style is simple but energetic. The music video and promotions are all related to the show, and they have a younger audience in mind. Take Two is the classical letter song for ARMYs. It was written and produced by BTS members, and it has the classical BTS sound when it comes to slow pop, R&B, ballad songs.
Hey. I'm running around in the days. We've been working so many ways now. See the good time. Can't you see the take two letters I didn't send to you? Letters I always called you. It's a good time. Yeah, we never felt so young. And we never been so young. Yeah, we never felt so right when I got you by my side. I take a right answer. You don't know nothing about that take two, man. That take two is a different breed, bro. Can't you see the take two? Stories unfolding just for you.
Like I mentioned before about V's project, this style of songs actually work pretty well on Japanese audiences, so it debuted at number 6 on the Billboard Japan Hot 100, with no music videos, remixes, or anything. But it's pretty clear that the main audience for this song is ARMY, so it charted well on pretty much every global chart. Basically, every one of these songs had the right promotions for each of their audiences. We need to see the solo projects and their promotions like this too. Maybe for some, this analysis of each solo promotion was unnecessary and obvious, but I had to do it because I received so many messages by ARMYs who don't consider themselves solo stans being confused about why some members had quote-unquote more opportunities than others. Some were genuinely confused by Jungkook's explicit lyrics, RM's minimalistic emotions, and J-Hope's lack of physical albums. So I hope
which is understandable. Like even me, like being new to ARMY, I've realized that like when things don't make sense to you, all you have to do is really ask the fandom, and like most of the time they'll explain why things. Because one thing about ARMY, y'all motherfuckers smart as fuck, like smart as hell. And I'm saying y'all because of course I'm ARMY. If you cut me right now, I am bleeding purple. But I'm just not as smart as y'all. And I realized that once I became ARMY, like you guys notice everything. You guys know everything that like, I'm not going to say you guys know everything because no. But what I'm saying is y'all know a lot. Y'all know a lot. And I've realized like being in this fandom, like if you don't know anything, just ask or just come to Boar City. She is gonna break everything down to you perfectly.
I helped calm the confusion at least a little. ARMYs need to accept that BTS are real multidimensional artists. They are 7 artists with different visions, styles, and journeys in their music. Of course, their promotion schedules are going to be different. Sure, ARMYs are the main audience listening to their solo projects, but the BTS members are going to perform and accept interviews on the shows that they feel the most comfortable showcasing their music. Don't expect the global BTS style of promotions for every solo project and cry when that doesn't happen. Think about the sound and their personalities individually. Their solo projects align with the solo songs they had on BTS albums. So accept the BTS members as the multidimensional artists they are. Trust them and their decisions, especially in this solo era.
잘 이겨나가고 여러분과 또 행복하게 공연하고 음악 만들고 할 거니까 호석이가 얘기했던 것처럼 부디 믿음을 가져주시길 바라겠습니다. 네.
Love these guys. Love these guys. BTS is so big. They have so many different personalities and sounds, and they're each other's. They're their own individual artists. I think that when you have a group like BTS, some fans, some ARMYs are just drawn to certain members. Maybe the support may be different with certain members, but I think we just all have to get to a point where we just love the music and the art. Of course, we want them to have the numbers and be on the charts, and I'm sure that they want the same. But at the same time, like, it's the music that is the foundation of it all. It's the music. So I think that we have to put more attention on the music. Yes, like I said, the numbers are going to be there. Yes, we all want the numbers, but the members understand that it's about the music. Don't get me wrong. I think that Jungkook is a little trying to be more strategic in breaking into the pop, like the American pop scene and wake everyone else up. But I just think at the end of the day, they're all just focused on making great music. And I think we should all appreciate that. The numbers will come. If not today, maybe tomorrow. But if they never do, the music is what we should all adore. But that's just my final take on it. But listen, I love you guys with my entire heart. I cannot wait for Jungkook's album. Let's just support it like we've done all the other members. If anything on Patreon interests you, make sure that you click the first link in the description down below, or the bar. No, it's actually not going to run above my head now. It's going to be on the screen somewhere in about like 5 to 10 seconds. But with all that being said, guys, I love you with my entire heart. Thank you so much for supporting me and answering my questions when I have questions about BTS and this fandom. And thank you, BTS, for all the beautiful music and beautiful eras that you have provided us with. And I cannot wait to share more amazing times with you when you return. Okay? And that goes for you as well. Love you so much. Be safe. I'll see you in the next video. Okay? Peace out. Wow. Oh my God. I love them together, bro. I'm finna get fucking emotional. Listen, I don't care where the next concert is when they return in 2025. I don't care where it is, my nigga. If it's in freaking Barbados, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking a fucking canoe. Oh, I love you. Listen, why don't you do this shit like when it's just me and you in here? I ain't gonna lie, this nigga looks suspicious. He just looks suspicious as hell. I could have pointed him out if I lived on a freaking on a 54th floor. He looked like a freaking villain. What'd he say? Yeah, so I'm about to say you're not gonna smile at all? God damn. I'm done. I am done. Okay. Oh my God, I forgot about this part. Okay, all right.
자, 하나, 둘, 셋.
First things first. That was Very strange. If I had to rate this album from top to bottom, from track 1 to track 14, I would give this album